That was, of course, the praise band reminding us today that we serve an awesome God. Well, listen to what Paul had to say here in Ephesians 4:22. He says, "You were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is corrupted by its deceitful desires." Well, of course, there is one thing standing between us and God, and that was, of course, our sin. Now, Jesus Christ beautifully, of course, bridged that gap between God and man by giving his life over to, of course, death. And his burial and his resurrection gave us eternal and abundant life. Through his broken body and shed blood, we have been restored to, of course, a relationship with God. So here Paul says, listen, you are taught in regard to your former way of life. He says, you are well aware of what you were like before you came to know Christ. Now what you need to do is make sure that that old life doesn't come up again. It corrupted you. It frustrated you. It tore you down. It grieved the Holy Spirit and quenched him as well. So say no to those things. You know, when we have a 2-year-old, they, of course, know how to say no. No, 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 no. I have a grandson that's coming into that particular time period now. And if we can learn to say no to those things that are going to, of course, damage and hurt us, then, of course, we're going to be able to avoid so many different ways of damaging ourselves and ultimately damaging others. So basically, he says, you were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self. Why? Because it was corrupted by deceitful desires. When you chase after money, when you chase after the pride of life, when you chase after your passionate things, whatever they may be, in themselves they may not be wrong, but the reality of the situation is focusing on them is going the wrong direction. The Lord wants you to come into that renewal and that brand new life. Paul puts it very simply. He says, forgetting those things which are behind, and I'm focusing on those things which are ahead in the Lord. He also told us in 2 Corinthians 5:17, we become new. The old things have passed away. Behold, all things are brand new. So let's live in the reality and the victory that we have in Jesus Christ. And please don't go back to your former life. Now we have for you right now, Hosanna music with Undignified.